Hello, everybody. This is me, DeAndre Dobbs, DDTS. Welcome back and welcome to today's episode of DDTS Wrestling Series Podcast, Episode 7, Wrestlemania Review. This what I have up here is what I posted on Facebook on Saturday, on Wrestlemania night. April the 18th, and which was on a Saturday. I posted this and I'm going to read it to you all, and I'm going to elaborate with you all to what I said, and I said what I said and I meant it, and I stand by it. So 1 second. So here it goes, you all. I wrote, my goal is to watch WrestleMania 42 tonight. I'm excited, but honestly, let me be honest. This whole Hall of Fame induction does not sit well with me. Especially this one. Why? Because on the passing of China 10 years ago today. The only woman among many others that broke down barriers and doors. And the first... I'm back, y'all. So here we go. I done lost my spot. It says, among many others, she broke down barriers and doors and the first ever woman to become the WWE Intercontinental Champion. And she was also a former women's champion. Let's be real, yes, Stephanie accomplished lots of things regarding business within WWE, general manager, matches, etc. But let's be real honest. I'm not and have never been a fan of Stephanie for lots of reasons. Let's get into it. So it's okay for this woman to allegedly get inducted on the anniversary of the ninth woman of the world's China passing. But Stephanie, alongside her big-nosed husband and Vince, are the reason of China's leaving the WWE and falling into the substance field and the adult entertainment business. Triple H cheated on China with Stephanie. Cheated on China with Stephanie. And the alleged tea is China wanted to get Stephanie. If you know, you know. China never did heal from none of those things that she went through, my opinion. China should have been inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame first when she was here on this earth, not wait till she's departed, and certainly not inducted with a group of men who all went their separate ways and did different things with their careers. The only people out of that group I respect and loved was Shawn Michaels and China. Billy Gunn, that's all. Triple H can kick rocks, my opinion, my truth. So as I come to the end of this post, yes, this is my truth, my opinion, and I said what I said. Have a great day. And that was, in my words, DeAndre Dobbs, of how I really felt about the scenario. And if you feel differently, that's totally fine. But I had to let that be known. I just wanted to go ahead and put that in this video. So as this video go ahead and progresses, I will be editing, and I really hope you all enjoy this video. Happy Monday, 420. And I love y'all. Thank you. And see you soon. Love y'all. Bye-bye. Hello, everybody, and welcome to DDTS Wrestling Series Podcast, Episode 7. I'm back with another video, podcast, or whatever you want to call it. Welcome back to another episode of today's video and episode of Wrestling Podcast. Now today I will be doing a WWE Wrestlemania 42 review on night 1 and night 2. And I will be giving my honest opinion. I will be giving how I really felt about the matches. I'm really going to give everything, the realness and all, no fakeness, everything real. So if you are a wrestling fan and if you have been enjoying my content, I truly and greatly appreciate it. But first, before we get into it, hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification bell so you will get notified when I have new videos available. Happy Monday. It is April the 20th, 2026. It's 420. Listen, it's 420. It's 420 for some of y'all smokers and everything else, this and that and the third. But for me, I don't smoke, so y'all have fun. Whoever be rolling the blunts, y'all have y'all fun. But happy 420, everybody. I'm gonna be sitting here 420, having coffee, catching up on shows, making videos, uploading, being consistent, this and that and the third. So yes, happy 420, 2026. And today we're going to be talking about WrestleMania 42 night 1 and night 2 review. And I'm going to give you my honest opinion. I'm going to give y'all what I really thought. And I'm going to try to find the pictures that is related to the matches. Now, everything might not be in order. Like the matches might not be in order for what I talk about. But if you know, you know. You probably can understand what I'm saying pretty much. So yes, indeed. So I want to tell y'all, I want to elaborate with y'all a little bit. So surprisingly, I was able to watch WrestleMania 42. I had to go online and watch it online. I had to go online and watch it on watchwrestling.com online. But it was doing so much buffering because, other people probably was on it as well. Because like I said in my other videos, when it comes to wrestling, I'm not paying no $29.99 just to watch one pay-per-view. And I'm not going to watch anything else. Like, that's a waste of money. And like I said, not only ESPN, but I will not be getting no more subscriptions of my shows when I know firsthand that I'm not going to be able to keep up with it, that I know I'm not going to be able to, I'm not going to say afford when it's not in my budget, when I know I'm not going to be able to pay for it. Like, why keep getting free trials? Why keep doing this and that and the third, sticking myself when I'm not going to pay for the subscriptions? When I know I'm not going to be able to supply it, pretty much. But I do have the bundle package of Hulu and Disney Plus, which is $4.99 plus tax, which is $5.35 or $5.34, one of them. So yeah, I can manage that, but I ain't getting no more Netflix, because Netflix went up another $1. Instead of $7.99, it's $8.99. And I ain't finna pay that. What they should have did, what WWE should have did, what Triple H should have did, what whoever's over the whole thing, TKO, this and that and the third, what whoever should have did, they should have just left it on Peacock. They should have just left it on Peacock, because I could have swung Peacock. I could have paid a good $7.99, $5.99 plus tax. I could have done that. I could have paid the $7.99. But when you keep going up on $1, when you keep going up on these subscription prices, I'm like, you know what? It is not for me. I come out better just watching it for free. I come out better just watching these free channels, Pluto TV and everything. I might not like the ads, this and that and the third, or watch some stuff online. I might well just go on and deal with that. So, yeah. But I was able to watch it this weekend. Couple of matches I didn't get to watch all the way, but I watched every match except the last match on night one. And that was Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. And we're going to talk about that on night one. But first, we're finna go ahead and talk about these matches and what I really thought about it, what I really thought about WrestleMania Part 1 and Part 2. So let's go ahead and get into it. What I really think. Let me see, where's my photos? They might be it right here. Now, so we're going to talk about night one. So let's go ahead and get into it. So night one consists of the Usos, LA Knight, and the Usos and LA Knight versus Austin Theory, Show Speed, and Logan Paul. That's what night one consists of. That was the first match on night one. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. Actually, that's where I started watching. Like, I didn't get to see the whole match of Show Speed and Austin Theory and Logan Paul versus the Usos and LA Knight. I didn't get a chance to watch that full match because I did not know what time WrestleMania start. But from what I saw, in my honest opinion, I really thought that match was kind of trash. I thought that match was kind of, it was a 1-. Because I'm finna give you my thoughts. WrestleMania night one was absolutely terrible. This was probably one of the worst WrestleManias that I've ever watched in all my years of watching WWE and watching wrestling. WrestleMania 42 this year was absolutely terrible. It was absolute garbage. But I will say this. I'm not going to say that it was all garbage because it was a couple surprises. It was some pretty cool matches that was very good, that was very predictable. But in all, WrestleMania 42 was absolutely terrible, if we're going to be honest. Because let's start off with Show Speed and Logan Paul and Austin Theory versus the Usos. Let me just go on and say this. I'm getting it, I understand celebrities love wrestling, and I understand some celebrities really do love WWE, correct? I completely respect that. I completely understand it. But I'm really going to say this. Back in the day, it was kind of cool. It was kind of cool when celebrities came and performed at WrestleMania for decades and everything, the singles and everything, like Aretha Franklin, Ray Charles, TLC, and Boys to Men, and all of these wonderful performers, and Salt and Pepper, all of them. But this the thing with me. Them performing wise, if they are artists, singers, performing America the Great and singing the national, the Star Spangled Banner, that's different. And if they are performing a wrestler's theme song, that's understandable. But when it comes to celebrities wanting to make these matches with these trained professional athletes who's 100% trained, who's 100% They know what to expect. They know what the risks are. They know what the consequences are, because you know why? Because they sign contracts. They have to go through so much to be wrestlers. But I really feel like celebrities in this day and age and in this rate, they should not become wrestlers. I really feel like celebrities that are willing to be in these matches and put their bodies on the line. I understand it was a check involved. I'm pretty sure. I understand there's extra money. But I'm just saying, if these celebrities are not trained, and if they're not going to bring anything to the table, I feel like it's a waste of time. Let's just let these wrestlers that have been wrestling for a decade, they love doing what they're doing, do their thing. Let's let these celebrities stick to their streamings. Let's let these celebrities stick to their they Twitches, they streams and everything, this and that and the third, and leave wrestling alone. Not saying that Show Speed was a waste of time. Not saying that he was a waste of time, respectfully. But I'm saying we could have done without Show Speed. We could do without a lot of these celebrities. Like half of these, let's be honest, half of these celebrities don't even deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Because you know why? The reason I say half of these celebrities don't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame and half of these celebrities don't deserve to be in these matches. Now, when I say half of these celebrities don't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, that's what I mean. Like, why are you... Like, what have y'all done? What have y'all done to WWE? What have y'all done for WWE? What have y'all done for the wrestling world? What have y'all done for the wrestling community to be in the WWE Hall of Fame? The last time I checked, the WWE Hall of Fame is for wrestlers in the past that are no longer wrestling, and wrestlers that have retired, wrestlers that have left a mark and a legacy. Those are for the peoples that deserve their flowers and so much more. Now, if we're going to be honest, it's a lot of celebrities that I can name that I feel like does not deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Even wrestlers. But we're going to talk about that in a little bit or another video. But yeah, we could have done without Show Speed. We could have done without Logan Paul. We could have done without the 6-man tag team match. We could have just watched the Usos versus Logan Paul and Austin Theory for the Usos to get their rematch back. We could have done without Show Speed. We could have done without him. He's already a streamer. He's already a famous streamer who is 21 years old. And I really feel like he is an amateur versus these other trained performers. So with that being said, I'm going to give that match a 1. That match was trash. Honestly. Yes, indeed. That's how I really feel about that. So that's what I'm going to say on that. Also, y'all, I will be taking breaks and I will be putting like a little music up there and be like, I will be right back. And then we're going to talk about the next thing. So it won't be as confusing and it won't be as hard on me. So, each match will have their own scenario. So that's it for that match. Now, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I will be talking about the second match and what I thought of it. And that match was Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre. Now, we will be right back with DDTS Wrestling Podcast Series, Episode 7. So stay tuned. Hello, y'all. Welcome back to DDTS Wrestling Series, episode 7. Welcome back. We just got done talking about Austin Theory and Logan Paul and Show Speed versus the Usos and LA Knight. 6-man match. Now we're finna head on to the next match. This match, I really think I think this match was pretty cool, but then again, I thought it was still trash. I think I tell you what, I think it was better than the first match. And this was the match, Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre. Now, I can say this. Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu, they were in a rivalry for some time, where Jacob Fatu, he took some time off television because I think he was injured or he had some things going on. So him and Drew McIntyre, I was not watching SmackDown, but I would watch the highlights. And the highlights identified that Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu, like, they was going tooth and nail. And you know, when you are a wrestler, and if you know the WWE, like I know the WWE, they're gonna eventually throw some of your personal life situations up in there. So it's like they went tooth and nail. Where I can remember that Drew McIntyre was bringing up Jacob Fatu when he was in prison, when he was locked up, and thinking about his past life and the things that he did. And I feel like this: when you bring up somebody's personal life, when you are in the wrestling world, you can believe the match is going to be 100% great, or it's going to have a little twist to it. So honestly, I feel like the match between Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre, you best believe I'm going to go for Jacob Fatu because I love Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu, in my opinion, is one of the greatest. Like, he comes from a famous, respected family, the Samoans, and which consists of The Rock, Roman Reigns, Jimmy and Jay Uso, Rikishi, the Great Munchie, and so many more of that respected family. And I'm so happy that Jacob Fatu won. Now, I'm going to go over to Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre, he first came in the WWE in 2009. He first was in Florida Championship Wrestling, and then he came to the WWE, where he, to me, Drew McIntyre, he was a menace when he first came to the WWE back in 2009. And at the time, he was Vince McMahon's chosen one. And, things was, pretty good for Drew McIntyre. But, when you have talent and you do not portray your talent right, when you don't give your talent or the peoples that have talent, and you don't book them right, what happens? They ask for a release. They don't want anything to do with the company. So I'm glad Jacob Fatu won. Drew McIntyre, he put up a good fight as well, but I'm so happy that Jacob Fatu won, because Jacob Fatu, the werewolf, I feel like he is deserving to be world champion. He's deserving to be world champion as well. And I'm hoping that he's world champion, because people's like Drew McIntyre, people's like Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, people's like Seth Rollins, and if you know, they've had their time to shine. I feel like it's other people's time to shine. People's that never had the opportunity to hold the gold, to hold the championship gold, to hold the world championship gold. I'm not talking about the United States and the Intercontinental. I'm talking about the world championship. Now, Jacob Fatu, he is a former Intercontinental champion. He is a former tag team champion. As in Drew McIntyre, he is a former Intercontinental champion. He is a former WWE champion. He is a former United States champion, I believe. And he is a former tag team champion. So he's done everything that there is to do in the WWE as well. But I want to say this match, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10 with Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre. But let's go rewind back. But did y'all see some of the moves that Jacob Fatu was doing? Like, he literally was doing moonsaults and jumping off the top ropes. And the shape that Jacob Fatu is in, you would think, wow, I didn't think he can move like that. Well, he can, because he literally moved perfectly. And the match was good to me. I enjoyed the match, but I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. But before the match started, Alicia Taylor, who is the ring announcer, she said allegedly that WWE will not be held responsible for any injuries or anything that goes on alongside that. So I love the match. But I really feel like I wish Vince McMahon was still, basically running operations with the WWE, because I feel like Triple H, WrestleMania was not giving what it needed to give. Let's just be honest. But that's how I feel about that match. So with that match with Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Okay? That's that. Now we're going to take another break, and I will be back with the next match that was on night 1 and that we're going to elaborate on. So come back and join me on DDTS Wrestling Series Episode 7. Hey y'all, welcome back to DDTS Episode 7 of DDTS Wrestling Podcast. Let's go ahead and get on to the next match. So we're talking about night 1. So let's go ahead and get into it. So we talked about the Usos and LA Knight, Show Speed, and Logan Paul and Austin Theory. And we talked about Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre. So let's go ahead and get into the next match that I thought was, let's elaborate. We're going to talk about the women. We're going to talk about the women. The women tag team championship match, fatal 4-way match. And it consisted of Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair versus Lash Legend and Nia Jax versus the Bella Twins, Nia and Nikki. And Nikki was not able to compete. So guess who returned to the WWE? No other than WWE former champion, Divas champion, and a person who has truly led a mark while she was there, Paige. Paige returned to the WWE on WrestleMania 42 Part 1, which I think was amazing. It was great to see her because Paige was forced to retire in 2018 after a match which she was injured in 2017 when she went against Sasha Banks, allegedly, if that's how I can remember. So yes, indeed. So I'm just gonna go on and put it out there. And also we can't forget um Bailey and Vakira Valkyra. Vakara, I believe, Bailey and Vakara. So it was Bree and Paige versus Alexa Bliss and Charlotte versus Nia Jax and Lash and Bailey and Vakara. I think that's her name. So honestly, let's go ahead and get into that match. I'm not going to elaborate a lot on it, but I'm just going to say this. I was kind of shocked when I saw Paige return to the WWE because I did not know that she was going to return. And I did not know that Nikki Bella was injured. But when Nikki Bella came out with her crutch, and she said on the microphone that she did not want to disappoint her sister Bree, and that she called the old friend, and she called Paige. Now, Paige is a former Divas champion in the WWE. Paige made history by beating AJ Lee in her debut match on WWE Monday Night Raw in 2013 when, or was it 2014? In 2013 or 14 when AJ Lee held the title for 295 days. Now, from my understanding, if I can remember correctly, AJ Lee is the longest reigning Divas champion. But before AJ Lee, there was Maurice. Now, Maurice was the longest reigning Divas champion. Now, before there was Maurice being the longest reigning Divas champion, Michelle McCool was the first ever Divas champion. And not only that, Michelle McCool was the first woman in WWE history to hold the Women's Championship and the Divas Championship. And it was not at the same time. It was combined at times. So, yeah. I truly loved that title. I think the Divas Championship, it was truly amazing. But let's be honest. I want to talk about the comparisons of the Divas Championship and the Women's Championship. The Women's Championship was held by some of the greats. It was held by Trish Stratus, the Fabulous Moolah, Jacqueline, Lita, Stephanie McMahon, Beth Phoenix, Candice Michelle, and so many peoples. Mickie James, Layla, Melina, Victoria, Gail Kim, Jazz, and the list goes on and on and on and on. And to me, those women that I named held the title. Those was legendary names to me. Those was women that really fought. You know, I believe the Women's Championship was like for big girls. And the Divas Championship was like for little girls or for little peoples or for peoples that were still trying to figure out their developmental, wise. If I'm trying to say it in a way. But I think the Women's Championship was meant for peoples that was well experienced with winning titles and was well experienced with being in the ring. This and that and the third. And you can't forget about Ivory. Ivory held the title. Deborah held the title. Sable held the title. It's so many peoples that held their title legendary. Sensational Sherry. There was Alundra Blaze. There was Bull Bacano. It's so many peoples that held their title. Now, as for the women, the Women's Championship, the original Women's Championship, legendary. But let's go over to the Divas Championship where I just talked about. You got Michelle McCool, you got Maurice, you got Melina, you got Mickie James, you got AJ Lee, you got Paige, you got Alicia Fox. So many young peoples and so many peoples have held the Divas Championship along with the Women's Championship. And it has been so many talented women in the WWE over the years that should have been used more, that should have won those titles more. But as we talk about that, let's go get to this tag team championship match. Now, I really felt that match, the tag team championship match, I was not fond of it. I didn't like it. Now, I will say this. I'm happy that Paige returned, but I was not fond of it because I really feel as much as I respect Nia Jax and Lash Legend, I really felt that their title reign could have been a little more longer. I felt like Nia Jax and Lash, their title reigns could have been held a little bit longer. They could have held those titles a little bit longer. And I know some people was like, they don't know how to fight. They don't know how to fight. Well, honestly, let's be honest. I think they did a wonderful job as tag team champions and as a team. And now, with all those women combined in that match, you got Nia Jax. She's part of the famous Samoan family. And Nia Jax is a former women's champion. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, you got Nia Jax, who's a former women's champion. You got Nikki Bella, Brie Bella, they former Divas champions. You got Bayley is a former women's champion. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. Like, truly goes on and on. Okay. So, all those women that was in that tag team match, they literally held their title of Women's Championship Gold or Divas Championship Gold or Tag Team Championship Gold or the Intercontinental Women's Intercontinental Championship Gold or the Women's United States Championship Gold. So it's like, wow. It's so much opportunity. So much opportunities. You know what I'm saying? But I was not a fan of the match, but I predicted that Paige was going to win. And they did. Paige and Brie Bella and Nikki Bella, they won. Because like I said, ain't no way they letting Paige return to the WWE and she don't win this match. But she won it. But if I'm going to be honest, I'm going to give that match a 7 out of 10. Like, I felt like it could have been more. I feel like it could have been more. Because it's like, damn, like, where is all this coming from? So I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Pretty much, WrestleMania 41 night 1 was pretty terrible as well. The whole pay-per-view was disgusting. The whole pay-per-view was trash. So I'm just going to put it in that aspect. So that's how I feel about that. Paige and Brie Bella and Nikki Bella, they won the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. They are the Women's Tag Team Champions. And I think it was amazing. 7 out of 10. It wasn't my favorite match, but I'm just gonna start going off my favorite moments at this point because there's too much elaboration. But yeah, there was that. So next we had Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee. Okay. I'm going to say this respectfully. I'm trying to say it respectfully. Not mean, not crazy. But Becky Lynch, to me, she is not the best wrestler. To me, she is not the best wrestler. To me, she's just... To me, she's just a waste of time of a champion who is on the mic saying the same stuff every week. Like, literally, we could have done without her being champion. But I'm going to go ahead and elaborate to y'all why it is alleged that Becky Lynch won. Because it is alleged that AJ Lee was a part-time. She was there part-time. And AJ Lee there was part-time. And, when you're there as a part-time wrestler, you're not going to be able to make all the shows. You're not going to be able to make all the matches. You're not going to be able to make all the events that there is to make when you are a part-time wrestler. So that is allegedly why I feel and what I was allegedly told the reason AJ Lee lost the championship. Plus, Becky Lynch cheated. She cheated by exposing the turnbuckle. Now, AJ Lee, she was wonderful as a champion. Now, we talked about AJ Lee not too long ago. Like I said, AJ Lee is a former Intercontinental Champion. She's a former Divas Champion. She has done it. She has done everything that there is to be done when it comes to being a wrestler. Like, she delivered a pipe bomb back in the day, like her husband or fiance, boyfriend, CM Punk. And wow, she tell it like it is. And she is truly one of the best in my opinion. I was so mad that AJ Lee lost the title. And after I saw the match, I was like, the referee who Becky Lynch kept going back and forth with needs to run them cameras back, needs to run that tape back, needs to run that footage back. Because as you can see, Becky Lynch allegedly and truthfully cheated to win the title. Becky Lynch, in my opinion, she sucks as a heel and she sucks as a top. Oh Lord, I'm sorry. She's blooper. I'm tired, y'all. She sucks as a heel and she sucks as a face. My bad. Listen, I'm sorry. Forgive me, y'all. That's a blooper. But honestly, I respect Becky Lynch as a person. But honestly, let's be real. She's not the best when it comes to being a wrestler. I don't know, it's just me, but she is not the best to me. Like, I respect her, she's cool and all, but she is not my cup of tea. But yeah, I was so sad when AJ lost her title. But when I heard what I heard, the reason why she lost it was because she's a part-time wrestler. And AJ Lee did an interview explaining that, it was the end, that, we'll see what else, adventures hold and everything. So I'm really hoping that AJ Lee returns and that everything works out for her. But I'm gonna give that match a 7 out of 10. Because it's like AJ was not putting up the fight that she usually puts up. But that might have been just me though. But that's just me. So I'm gonna say 7 out of 10. But I wish AJ Lee would have retained. That's just my opinion on it. So, yeah, that was it on that. Then we had Gunther versus Seth Rollins. I'm going to give that one a 8 out of 10. I'm going to give that an 8 out of 10. But let me just say this. I respect Seth Rollins and I like Seth Rollins. I think he's truly one of the greatest. But I feel like they pushing Seth Rollins too much. Now, I understand that he is close to the top of the superstar fame that there already is. But I really feel they giving so many of these legendary people so much opportunity that other peoples need to get a chance. And then let's talk about Gunther. Gunther, I do not like Gunther. I don't like Gunther. Gunther, whatever his name is, I do not like him. He's not my cup of tea. Because he retired John Cena. He retired Goldberg. And although he is a extraordinary performer, and he is, in my opinion, I think he's taken the crown for being the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion that there is. But that match between Gunther and Seth Rollins, I was for a fact or sure that Seth Rollins was going to retain that title. But he did not get a chance to retain that title because Braun Breaker interfered and cost Seth Rollins the match. When I was watching it at that time, Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins was on the same side and team. They was in this faction. So, I feel like this is gonna be my prediction. Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker. That's gonna be a match in the future or pretty soon. Because if you've been watching wrestling long as I have, you can automatically tell what you can expect when it comes to these rivalries and these matches. So I'm going to give that match like an 8 out of 10. Now, if I'm speeding up, I apologize. Stephanie Vakura, and Liv Morgan for the Women's World Championship match. Liv Morgan won the Royal Rumble, so she got a title opportunity. She got a title opportunity. Hold on 1 second, y'all. 1 second. So yeah, y'all. So Liv Morgan, she won the Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia, which was the worst Royal Rumble. And she got an opportunity to face Jade Cargill or face Stephanie Vacara, but she faced Stephanie Vacara. And she defeated Stephanie Vacara after Stephanie Vacara and Liv Morgan was going back and forth, back and forth. You know how to build up the WrestleMania matches. Stephanie Vacara put a big knot on Liv Morgan's head. I wish I can show you the video, but I do not want to get copyrighted. But I'll see what I can do. But I'm going to be honest with you. That was an intense match to me because I thought for a fact that Stephanie Vacara was going to win the match and she was going to retain the title. But who comes out and interferes? Rosie Perez, Roxanne Perez, and Raquel Rodriguez. And that's how the match turned hands. And that's how Stephanie Vacara, in my opinion, lost the title and Liv Morgan won the Women's World Championship again for the second or third time. So I'm going to give that match like an 8 out of 10. So let's get on to this last match of night 1, WrestleMania. Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes. I'm just going to nip this into bud. Now, if you know me, Randy Orton is one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. Always have been, always will be. I don't care how dirty he gets. I don't care how dirty he turns, how heel he gets, how face he gets. It's something about Randy Orton that I just love and admire about his wrestling ability. Randy Orton is a 14-time world champion. He is a former Intercontinental champion, a former tag team champion, a former Royal Rumble winner. You know, he's done it all. And Randy Orton is also the first person, in my opinion. You know, he formed his own tag team called Legacy, which consists of Ted DiBiase, his opponent that he faced for the WWE Undisputed Championship, Cody Rhodes. Pat McAfee was on Cody Rhodes' side. Allegedly, Pat McAfee He's wasted talent. Pat McAfee should have just stick to sports. He could have just stuck what he knew what to do and play football, I guess. So Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes, they got a history together. This tag team that they formed, they have been rivals, they have been friends, they have been on the road together. You know, it all goes back to decades and decades and decades ago with them in Ted DiBiase, but it basically goes back with Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. I didn't get a chance to watch all the match because it started buffering for me, so I couldn't really watch all of it. But biggest of it I saw, and from what I saw, Randy Orton really gave it to Cody Rhodes. Like, one of Cody Rhodes' eyes was literally shut. Cody Rhodes defeated and beat Randy Orton, which I was upset about. But at the end of the day, I will say this. I respect Cody Rhodes as a person. I respect him as a wrestler. I think he's truly one of the greatest. I really feel like he even left his own company, which is AEW. Cody Rhodes started a company called AEW, All Elite Wrestling. He stayed there, left his company that he built, that he started, just to come back to the WWE. Just to come back to a company where his father, Dusty Rhodes, his brother, Dustin Rhodes, were truly well known. Hold on, y'all. Yeah. Y'all, I'm sorry for sounding like I'm a little tired, but I might be forgetting everything that there is to forget. Now, if you know me, y'all know I'm big wrestling fans, and I will say that match was intense. And Randy Orton, he has a history of being psychotic when he's in the wrestling world. And when he is performing, he's very psychotic. And he has been known for hearing voices in his head. And I can name some of the moments where Randy Orton did some very outrageous stuff that makes you be like, oh my goodness, why do you like him as a wrestler? Does he scare you? Let me tell you I can name some of the things that Randy Orton has done in the WWE that will make you be like, wow. For number one, he tortured the whole McMahon family. He put Vince McMahon's head when he kicked him right in the head. He handcuffed Triple H and tormented Triple H. He also DDT'd Triple H's wife, Vince McMahon's daughter, Stephanie McMahon. Tormented her. Shane McMahon. He tried to set The Undertaker on fire. Like, it's so many things that he has done. And he has really had a very, very, very outrageous rivalry with John Cena. Their history goes back. And if you know, his rivalry with Triple H, his rivalry with Shawn Michaels, his rivalry with Christian, his rivalry with CM Punk, his rivalry with Mark Henry, his rivalry with The Undertaker. I mean, the list goes on and on. and some of the things that he has done to the legends as well. That's why they called him the Legend Killer. He RKO'd the Fabulous Moolah. He attacked Cody Rhodes' daddy, Dusty Rhodes. And the list goes completely on and on and on. If you know, you know. I know I might be missing everything that there is to include, but yeah, I truly will say that match was a 6 out of 10. I was not. Pat McAfee got injured by Jelly Roll. So, yeah. I don't know much about Pat McAfee, but all I know is that he was he was a former football player. He got his own podcast, and he was a commentator sitting by Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and the rest of the group. That I think Pat McAfee, he truly, I don't know what to expect. But he deserved it. So that match between Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes was pretty ironic. Cody Rhodes retained the title. So, yeah. That's it for the matches on night 1. I will probably make another recording of night 2. And we can elaborate on that. I think I'm going to record night 2 tomorrow or record it later on tonight. I really not for sure. Because I'm wiped out now. But also I want to say this. Bianca Belair made a special appearance. And she is expecting her first child with Montez Ford. With Montez Ford having a 4th child. Because he allegedly has 3 kids with someone else. But this will be the 4th child. This 4th child will be his with Bianca Belair. Which is a big congratulations. And I'm going to have to go ahead and say this. I'm so freaking mad. I'm so freaking mad at Montez Ford and Jimmy Uso. Because I'm more mad at Jimmy. I'm more mad at Jimmy Uso than anything. Because why in the hell would you decide to get Naomi pregnant? Why would you decide to go ahead and skeet and do all this Netflix and chill when she was just about to take off in her career as the world women's champion? Like, why, Jimmy? Why? Why would you do that? I blame Jimmy. I think they did that on purpose. Now, I could be wrong, but that's just how I see it. I believe they did that on purpose. So, yeah. There's so much I want to say, but I just don't have the energy right now to say it. But I will say this. Congratulations are in order for Bianca Belair, Montez Ford, and congratulations to the winners of the matches. WrestleMania Night 1 was trash. It was trash. It was disgusting. It was a waste of time. I could have been catching up on other shows if I knew it was going to be this bad. Triple H, TKO, this and then the third. Do not book that again. And they said allegedly next year that WrestleMania 43 is going to be in Saudi Arabia. So you know it ain't going to be worth nothing then. So, yeah. So that's going to be it for part 1 Wrestlemania. I might try to record part 2 tonight to give y'all my opinion and my review for part 2. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead. And speed this up. I'm gonna go ahead and see what I can do, y'all. Let me see what I can do here. Part 2 consisted of. Okay. Part 2 consisted of the Intercontinental ladder match. Rey Mysterio, Javon Evans, Rusev, the Lucha Dragon, I think that's who that is, and Jadu Muda for the Intercontinental Championship. Rey Mysterio defeated all 5 of those members, and I watched that match. Now that match was a 10 out of 10. The second match, it might not be in order. Brock Lesnar was defeated by Oba, which Brock Lesnar took off his boots in the ring, and I think he officially retired. Now, Oba and Brock Lesnar, they've been building this up since WrestleMania. They say allegedly that match was like literally 2 minutes. 2 minutes and some change. And Oba defeated Brock Lesnar with Brock Lesnar sitting in the ring, taking off his boots, shared in tears, Paul Heyman coming out there, Brock Lesnar getting out the ring, walking out the arena with him waving and giving a kiss, this and that and the third. And people were saying, "Thank you, Brock. Thank you, Brock." Well, let's be honest. I don't know much about Oba, but I will say this. Brock Lesnar is truly one of the greatest. And he's truly led his mark, even though I have not. I've always been a fan of Brock Lesnar, but you have got to admit that his reign of defeating legendary peoples that have always, that have been in the WWE for a long time, is truly amazing. You know what I'm saying? Hold on one second. Here comes the garbage truck. Okay, y'all, I am back. So, yeah, I got a list of, I got this picture from Facebook, and it got list of peoples that Brock Lesnar has defeated. He basically defeated The Rock, allegedly. He defeated Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship when Kofi Kingston was champion. He defeated Bobby Lashley. He defeated Big E Langston. He defeated Omos. And he just to lose to Obafemi. That's his name, Obafemi. But guess what though? All of these individuals that I just named and have a picture up on the screen, all of these phenomenons and all of these legends are black men, African American men. The Rock, Kofi Kingston, Bobby Lashley, Big E Langston, Omos. And he lost to Obafemi. Obafemi is like 28 years old, 27, 28 years old. And Brock Lesnar is like 47, 48. So it's like, wow. That's when I figured that maybe Brock Lesnar is he's about to allegedly retire because he's done everything that there is to do. He has fought Eddie Guerrero. He's fought so many peoples, The Rock, and all these peoples that I just named. I mean, the list goes on and on. He's a former WWE champion, and he was a beast. He has been in some of the world's biggest storylines in everything. And I can remember when Brock Lesnar did a little interview, he said when he was a little kid or when he was a teenager, he was doing this wrestling thing, and he was in this wrestling school or doing this wrestling thing, and he lost the match. He said allegedly, he laughed at this. He says his mother, his own mama, Brock Lesnar allegedly said that his own mama left him there because he lost. Because he said allegedly that she said, that'll teach you, you gotta win. His mama allegedly left him there, and she watched him play. So maybe that's what drove Brock Lesnar to, have this momentum, have this speed, have that physique to, become one of the greatest. But he lost to Obafemi, and that's when Brock Lesnar retired, or he allegedly quit the WWE. Now, I apologize if I'm missing everything or anything, but I'm just making sure I get everything. I didn't want to miss anything, y'all. So, yes, indeed. Next, we had Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams. Trick Williams whooped that Trick. Trick Williams successfully defeated Sami Zayn to become the United States champion. And I would like to say congratulations goes in order to Trick Williams, which I doubt that he's going to watch this video. Anybody famous that's going to watch this video. But I would like to say congratulations to Trick Williams, who is 31 of age. His mama and family was there in the front row cheering him on and supporting him as he defeated Sami Zayn. But let's go ahead and talk about Trick Williams. I knew Trick Williams was going to be a phenomenon superstar, and I knew Trick Williams was going to go places, and I knew Trick Williams was going to become a success when he was in NXT, and he won the gold when he was in TNA, and he won the gold when he came back to WWE on Friday Night SmackDown. And he has been doing so many great things, it's not even funny. And I'm so happy for Trick Williams because I always had faith in Trick Williams, even though I have not watched all of his matches. But from his looks and from the matches that I saw and everything, Trick Williams is one of the greatest things that we have in the WWE. Trick Williams is the next world champion, but I just hope that they play him right, because he's truly one of the greatest that I've saw. Among Javon Evans, he's truly one of the best as well. Now, I did a video on Trayvon Evans by him and Kevin Nash, but Trick Williams, I'm truly happy for him. And I follow him on Twitter, and he made a Twitter post that said, God is good. And I reposted it, and I said, all the time, God is good. God is good all the time. Because he truly is. God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. And he might not come when we want him to, but God is always on time. And I just want to thank Trick Williams for successfully doing what he loves to do and winning the gold. He did it for the culture. He did it for the ancestors. He did it for everyone. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into the next review. So we got Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. Finn Balor is back, y'all. Finn Balor is back. Finn Balor is back. He's not a part of Judgment Day anymore. He is back. Finn Balor defeated and beat Dominic Mysterio, which I am truly happy that he was able to do so. Because Finn Balor is truly one of the greatest. He's one of my favorite superstars. Finn Balor is a former world champion, Intercontinental champion, United States champion. I'm just going to say he's won titles. And I'm just so happy that he won. He put up a good fight with Dominic Mysterio. Not saying Dominic Mysterio didn't, but he did. Finn Balor is an extraordinary superstar. And I'm so happy that he was able to do all the accomplishments that he basically done. I'm happy that he's no longer part of Judgment Day, because Judgment Day, if it wasn't for Edge starting the Judgment Day, if it wasn't for the rated R superstar Edge, it wouldn't be no Judgment Day. It wouldn't be none of that. So, hat goes off to the rated R superstar Edge. It goes to Adam Copeland, a.k.a. the rated R superstar Edge. So, Finn Balor defeated Dominic Mysterio. I can't see what's next when it comes to Finn Balor and who he's going to be in the storyline next. But I feel like this match is not over. This rivalry is not over between Finn Balor. And I feel like it's not over between Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio. So congratulations, Finn Balor. I'm going to give that match a 8 out of 10. I'm going to give the match between Sami Zayn and Trick Williams a 8 out of 10. 7 or 8 out of 10. And the match that I want to talk about a little bit is Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley finally became victorious and defeated and beat Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill, to my opinion, she was one of the worst champions. She was one of the worst champions ever. Ah! Where all these beans coming from? Oh, y'all heard that? My bad. I got it. But yeah, y'all. Jade Cargill, in my opinion, was one of the worst women's champions reigning in this WWE so far. When she defeated Tiffany Stratton, as much as I love Jade Cargill, they know better, because she did not defend that title much she should have done. I'm happy that Rhea Ripley beat Jade. And I respect Jade and I love Jade Cargill, but I really feel like WWE really didn't do her well. I feel like she was one of the worst reignings and worst rankings women's champions that there have been in a long time. And a lot of people want to talk about Jade Cargill's athleticism and her fighting and her wrestling techniques and stuff. I'm going to tell you this. Jade Cargill, to me, she's a great wrestler. But I really feel like some of the things and some of her inability needs a little bit work. mic skills. I think she needs a little more, go to a practice. That's just my opinion. But I truly respect Jade Cargill as a wrestler and as a person. She's truly has done everything. She's been in some lovely and memorable storylines in the WWE, especially with her and Naomi, Tiffany Stratton, Rhea Ripley, who successfully defeated Jade Cargill. I mean, the list goes on and on. So, congratulations goes to Rhea Ripley, and I'm going to give that match a 6 out of 10. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I felt like it could have been more, but I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. And congratulations goes out to Rhea Ripley. Now, the last match for part 2. We talking about part 2 now, y'all. CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns defeated CM Punk. Like what I said before, I respect CM Punk as a wrestler. I respect him as a wrestler and as a person, but he's not my cup of tea. But I will say that pipe bomb that he delivered and put out truly was one for the ages since he did that in 2011. So I'm going to say this. I had a feeling Roman Reigns was going to win again. Congratulations goes out to Roman Reigns, but I feel like this title is going to be held hostage again like it was back in 2020 when he won the undisputed WWE Championship and he held it for 1,000 and some days, which was 4 years. And if it wasn't for Cody Rhodes defeating him at WrestleMania 39, I think that's what it was, 39, he wouldn't even had this opportunity against CM Punk. So I'm going to say this. Big congrats goes out to Roman Reigns. Since CM Punk has lost his title, is Roman Reigns and CM Punk going to continue this rivalry, or is CM Punk going to go be part-time with his wife, AJ Lee? Who is going to be Roman Reigns' next rivalry? I heard this allegedly could be Oba Femi. So let's just see how this will prevails. But congratulations goes out to Roman Reigns and CM Punk. They put up a great match. So yes, indeed. It's so much that I wanted to say that I want to say, but I think I said everything that there is to say. But it was a lot of mis-talking in that match. But I bet you CM Punk feels so messed up and that he feels so shitty that he lost his title to Roman Reigns after he delivered that damn pipe bomb. So there will be my WWE WrestleMania Part 1 and 2 review. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, wrestling fans. And you can expect more podcasts and episodes soon. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to try to drop one every week or whenever I can. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know what you guys think. I really want to say I love y'all. And I will see y'all on the next episode. I love y'all. Till next time, thank you and bye-bye.